Hello, this is Taha.
This is Anaina,
This is Mui Masala.
and we're here to yap at you about films we watched recently.
And today we're doing The Smashing Machine.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's totally okay. Tell him it's natural reaction.
Та нічого, це природна
My
реакція.
head was down there, my face is down there.
Знаєте що, голова дуже постраждала моя.
Let's all get a picture, yeah?
Yeah. Let's do it together.
Let's do it, yes.
Yeah, of course,
Let's do
yes.
it. Can you do a picture? Let's all get it.
I knew about this film for a bit purely because this film was Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
who, after not being able to change the hierarchy of power in the DC universe, who, after a string of very critically poorly received films, was like, I need to do something to actively rejuvenate my career.
Yeah?
And then he finds the Safdie brothers,
Mm-hmm.
responsible for Uncut Gems, which is most people would probably know them, a film which is Anxiety the movie for most people.
Yep.
He gets Benny Safdie, who's one half of the Safdie brothers, to write and direct a film based on a UFC fighter called Mike Kerr. That is like kind of the basics of this film. And the reason I feel this is necessary to know is because this film, a lot of it hinges on basically being a acting vehicle for Dwayne Johnson. This film was entirely manufactured to make sure Dwayne The Rock Johnson could look like a credible actor to rejuvenate his career.
And does it work? Does he deliver?
And the verdict is, he does. The verdict simply is, he
Okay.
does.
Okay.
There is no argument to the fact that while this might not be the best performance I've seen this year, it is easily Dwayne Johnson's best acting performance he's ever given.
Okay.
And again, it is primarily an acting vehicle for him, somewhat Emily Blunt as well. Although Emily Blunt really does not need to prove herself as an actress. Nobody's coming up here saying Emily Blunt can't act.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was saying that.
But before this film, even I would have told you, I don't think Dwayne The Rock Johnson can act. I think he just has some charisma and uses that to like kind of propel himself through a film, like coax himself through a film.
So that's fair because if you look at his previous filmography, it's kind of him doing the same guy over and over again.
Yeah, 100%. Like most of his films is him doing the same. Like films like Red Notice, for example, which is, I still do not understand how is that Netflix's most watched film when nobody has ever talked about that film. It's like him just selling his tequila and like acting like The Rock, right? Black Adam is him barely any different, just a bit angrier. Jumanji is the same. Actually, Jumanji, the first Jumanji might be one where he actively does more. But for example, Jungle Cruise, again, which he also was in with London, all of these feel so samey,
Yeah.
right? Even him in Fast and Furious feels very reminiscent of the same macho character he does.
Yeah.
And again, that was also another concern I had, which is he's playing a UFC fighter. Is he
Mhm.
going to be really different than what he's already done?
Yeah.
And again, the thing is, yes, because while sure the persona he adopts
Mm-hmm.
is similar to his persona or like a bit of his story in the WWE, the thing is he does his homework and he does show commitment.
Okay.
Like I, going into the film, did not expect to see Dwayne Johnson crying. And while I still did not see a single tear because I do think this man has so much muscle that his tear ducts have closed, he showed genuine emotion. When he was upset, you knew he was upset. When he was
Mm-hmm.
sad, even when he was not crying, you can see in his body language that he was sad. And the body language part was something he carried throughout the film. And this is like such a, maybe like too in the weeds or whatever. But look at him in any film. He has a pose. He stands tall and like chest first and everything. But Mike Kerr
Mhm.
doesn't. Mike Kerr is a bit hunched over. He's a big guy, but he's a gentle guy in his core. So he's always a bit hunched over. He has anger in him, but he's not
Okay.
an action hero. He doesn't think of himself as an action hero in that same sense.
Yeah.
So from the starting scene, you see his body language so different than from all his roles have been. And secondly, what does the most
Mhm.
incredible job, Anaina, here is the makeup department. The makeup department has done one of the most incredible jobs in this film. Like, I feel at least like 20 to 30% of Dwayne Johnson's like performance is down to the makeup.
Okay.
Because even though he looks so much like the same person, just with hair, he gets lost in it. Again, part is the acting that he gets lost in it. But some part is just the makeup is so good that even when he shaves his head, you're like, he looks kind of like The Rock, but not really. So that was a long tirade of like, Dwayne Johnson did a good job with this movie. I think that is,
Yeah.
I'll give credit where credit's due. He earned it. He proved him. There are other parts of the film.
Fair.
And the overall verdict for the film, while the acting might have been like, it's great,
Mm-hmm.
the overall verdict for the film, it's messy. And sometimes to its very much detriment, right? So again, Emily Blunt is really good. Emily Blunt does her job really well.
Yeah.
But Emily Blunt's character, who's Mike Kerr's wife, who's Dawn, is very much written like, I don't know if anyone's seen that one SNL sketch with Heidi Gardner where she plays that wife whose husband is boxer and she just keeps going, I'm taking my children to the sisters. I'm taking the children to the
I
sisters.
don't think you need to watch an SNL skit to know what you mean, but yeah.
Yeah, it's that wife whose husband is a boxer and she's constantly afraid that he's going to die, and keeps asking him to stop. And
Yeah.
while she's not exactly that, there is more nuance and depth to her character, which is like, she can't handle him not depending on her and not being able to take care of him in some ways, but
Okay.
also does not enjoy seeing him suffer. She is a toxic person, and he somewhat is also toxic with her. They are two people who, while truly in love, you can see that,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes make each other's life worse off. They should not be together in a long-term way.
Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable way.
And I think its emotional core is this relationship that Mike has with Dawn. And then it also talks about his career and fighting and him losing a match for the first time, how that's declared a no contest going into a second match, how his struggles in his home life impact his UFC career and all of that, and his personal struggles with drugs, opioids, and stuff like
Okay.
that as well. Alongside him, you have his friend Mark Coleman,
Mm-hmm.
who's played by Ryan Bader. Ryan Bader is an actual MMA fighter, like he's a professional fighter, and also a surprisingly good actor. Like, some people just have got it. Yeah, he's also really good in it, and he plays a good role in like trying to be this like friend to Mark and trying to like be this constant like compassionate person by his side.
Mm-hmm.
So I think all of those things individually are compelling, but the thing is, the film never just really comes together. The whole time I'm like, okay, but what's the central theme you want me to take about it? It never feels the film is going anywhere necessarily. It just feels like it shows you one cool highlight and then another thing. And it never really ties those things together in an impactful way. It feels like vignettes, but also not done in a way that makes it feel like a film. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. It doesn't feel like it has any coherence to it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a documentary about this as well, and I have not been able to watch the
Mhm.
documentary. But it feels like the film drops things. The film doesn't exactly know what story to tell. Like, this feels like the first or second draft of a script, not the final script itself.
Sure, so you're saying it definitely needed to be developed more.
Yeah, exactly. There's no through line to the film that I'm able to grasp. Like, as an audience, you kind of want to know where the film is going. You want to know what the character's big fight is going to be, or like where is the climax going to hit, even if this don't succeed, right? It needs to build up to something. I feel this film really is not able to realistically build up to something well. You kind of do know that this is like a big fight, but it never feels it has like the emotional weight behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say it lacks like that emotional aspect,
Mm-hmm.
it's often seen in like how it chooses to depict things as well. So like in how it's announcing the rings and fighting, right? So in a boxing match, like sure, realistically, people go like, and this is Mike Carr, this is his second match. He is a one to look out for. But that's a very, in a film, that just kind of dampens all of the emotional response an audience should have
Yeah.
from the thing. It might be more realistic, but you're not going for that necessarily, and it reduces like the impact, especially because some of the fights, again, more realistically, are just like 30 seconds or like a minute or to half 90
Yeah.
seconds, because those fights do sometimes just get over. So again, it's kind of a sports film, right? And
Yeah.
in a sports film, you kind of always build up to this big final match. But if the
Yeah.
big final match feels like it's over in 30 seconds or like 90 seconds or a minute or two, whatever, with commentary that feels very monotone, it
Mm.
kind of doesn't give you any of the emotional impact back. So that feels like, and again, another issue with that film. But again, the whole point, I'm like, this is great acting, but the story just feels so underfleshed, underwhelming, not cohesive, as you said, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, it's all of that, and like kind of a sub note to that is like I went out of the theater, and like when talking about it, I was just like, wait, they had a cat at the start of the film. What happened to that cat? It never comes up again.
Yeah, okay, so I get it. The
Or
vibe
like,
is basically they made a script but didn't really pay too much attention to it.
yeah, the script is acting first and story second, and the story suffers from that.
Yeah, narratively it's very mid.
Narratively, it suffers. So narratively doesn't feel cohesively and well tied through. And I think, like, again, that cat
Mm,
example is a nitpick, sure, but it shows a lack of attention to detail and not caring about the bigger picture, but just much more focusing on smaller vignettes to show these people and again help the Rock act, which he does.
that makes sense.
So yeah, those are our thoughts. Thank you for tuning in. This podcast is produced solely by us with musical assets from Pixabay. If you enjoyed this, please do share it. See you again next time.
Bye.